Hello everyone. In the next couple of minutes, we are going to understand the analysis of DC circuit using mesh analysis. Mesh analysis is applicable to the electrical circuit which is planar in nature, and it basically uses Kirchhoff voltage law to find out the current in any branch of the electrical circuit. One question may arise in your mind: what is the difference between mesh and a loop? A mesh is a loop that does not contain any other loop within it. So to understand this one, consider this electrical circuit. In this electrical circuit, A, B, E, F, A, this is a closed loop, and this closed loop does not contain any other loop inside it. So this will be known as mesh. Likewise, B, C, D, E, B will also be a mesh. While A, B, C, D, E, F, A, this outer closed loop is consisting the two loop inside it. So that's why this outer closed loop will not be known as a mesh. So in this electrical circuit we are having two mesh. So now we have understand what is the difference between mesh and a loop. Now next thing is that how we can apply the mesh analysis to find out the current in any branch of the electrical circuit. So to apply this one, first of all we are going to assume the imaginary current in each mesh in the clockwise direction, and I'll give the name I1 and I2. Since in this one we are having the two closed mesh, so I'm going to assume the current I1 in clockwise direction, I2, and this current I1 and I2 is shown over here. Now next step is that I'm going to write down the voltage polarity across each resistance. So how we can write down the voltage polarity? Since the current is flowing in a clockwise direction, and all of you know that the current always flows from higher potential to lower potential, and we are representing the higher potential with the plus sign and lower potential with the minus sign. So if the current is flowing in a clockwise direction, so this A will be plus and B will be your minus. Likewise, this for this 15 ohm, B will be your plus and E will be your minus. If I am considering for the second loop, in the 10 ohm, B will be your plus and C will be your minus. Likewise, this 15 ohm, here it will be plus and here it will be your minus. So likewise we have represented the polarity. Now next stage is that we are going to write down the Kirchhoff voltage law for each mesh. So I am going to write down the Kirchhoff voltage law. KVL in mesh 1. This is mesh 1 and this is your mesh 2. So first of all I am going to write down the voltage drop across this one. I am moving in clockwise direction. So here the voltage drop will be your 10 into I1, just because why I am writing plus 10, just because I am reaching at plus terminal first. Now in this 15 ohm, I1 and I2 both current are flowing. Since I am writing the KVL for the loop 1, so I'll assume this I1 is greater than I2. So in such case, the voltage drop will be written with the plus polarity 15 I1 minus I2. And I am reaching to the minus polarity, so I am going to write down with this minus 10 is equal to 0. If I am going to simplify this one, then I'll get 25 I1 minus 15 I2 is equal to 10. This is your first equation. Now next one, I am going to apply the KVL in mesh 2, right? So if I am going to write down the KVL in this one, so again I am moving in clockwise direction, right? So in this 10 ohm, first of all voltage drop will be your 10 into I2. 10 into I2. Then I am reaching at minus polarity of the voltage. So I am going to write down this one with minus 15. And coming over here, voltage drop across this 15 ohm. Since I am writing the voltage for the KVL for the loop 2, mesh 2, in such case I'll assume I2 is greater than I1 so that I can justify this polarity, right? So I'll write 15. I'm going to write down I2 minus I1 is equal to 0. So if I'm going to simplify this one, this will be your minus 15 I1 plus 25 I2 is equal to 15. This is your second equation. So now we have got the two simultaneous equations, and after solving these two simultaneous equations we can find out the current, right? After solving these two simultaneous equation, I'll get I1 is equal to 1.1875 and I2 will be 1.3125. So if I know the value of I1 and I2, then I can know the current in any branch of this electrical circuit. Well, we have learned how we can find out the current in a branch using mesh analysis till now. So in a quick approach, basically we are going to focus to write down the simultaneous equations using mesh analysis. So this will be somewhat going to be the faster approach. So to understand this one, consider this electrical circuit. So here in this electrical circuit, we will follow the same procedure. We are having the three mesh. So I'll assume the imaginary current flowing in all the three meshes. So this mesh 1, I am assuming the current flowing in a clockwise direction, I1. And in the second mesh, I2 is flowing. In a third mesh, I3 is flowing. Now I'm going to write down the KVL for all mesh. In such case, I'll get the three simultaneous equations. So I am going to write down KVL in all mesh. So I'm going to write down the simultaneous equation in one go. So first of all, I'm looking the first mesh 1. This is your mesh 1. This is your mesh 2. And this is your mesh 3. So if I'm going to write down the KVL for the mesh 1, then I'll get the first simultaneous equation. So if I'm going to write down the KVL for this mesh, in such case, since the current I1 is flowing over here in this mesh, so the coefficient of I1 will be always positive. Note please, coefficient of I1 will be always positive. If I am going to write down the KVL in this case, the coefficient of I2 will be always positive. Likewise, if I am going to write down the KVL for the mesh 3, the coefficient of I3 will be positive. So what will be the value of the coefficients? So just by adding these two resistances, that will be your 10 plus 15, that will be your 25. So 25 I1. This is your positive, right? And we will look at the resistance in which other currents are flowing, other loop currents are flowing. In this 10 ohm, I3 is flowing. In this 15 ohm, I2 is flowing. In such case, we are going to write down the coefficient of I2 with the negative sign and I3 with the negative sign. So I2 will be your minus of 15, since this is I2 is flowing in 15 ohm. So minus 15 I2. And I3 is flowing in 10 ohm. So this will be your minus of 10 I3. And since I am moving in clockwise direction, so I am reaching over here minus 10. So this will be your minus 10 will be going to be 0. It's your first equation. If I am going to transfer this 10 over here, so I'll get 25 I1 minus 15 I2 minus 10 I3 is equal to 10. So this is your first equation. Similarly, I can write down the KVL for the mesh 2 also. So what will be happening over here? Here the coefficient of I2 will be positive. And what will the value of the coefficients? I am going to add 10 plus 15. This will be your 25. So plus 25 I2. And rest other coefficients will be negative if the current is flowing. See, look at in this 15 ohm, the current I1 is flowing. So I'll write down, I'll write coefficient of I1 negative. So minus 15 into I1. And this 10 ohm, I3 is flowing. So minus 10 I3 is equal to, since I am reaching at minus first, so minus, just I am going to reverse the polarity, so this will be going to be your 15, second equation. Now I am going to write down KVL for this third mesh. So the coefficient of I3 will be going to be positive. So what will the value of the coefficients? I am going to add all value of the resistances in the mesh. 8 plus 10 plus 10. So this will be your 28 I3. And rest other coefficient will be going to be, see, look at over here in this 10 ohm, I1 is flowing. So minus 10 I1. And in this 10 ohm, I2 is flowing. So I'll write minus 10 I2. Since I am moving in clockwise direction and I am reaching my at minus of 15, so I'll write down my opposite of minus 15, that will be your plus of 15. So here this will be your third equation. So now we have written 3 simultaneous equation in a one go for this electrical circuit. And now in the next step, if we are going to find out the value of I1, I2 and I3, then we can find out the current in any branch. Now we are going to see some special case. That special case is coming under the heading super mesh analysis, or the mesh analysis with the current source. Sometimes what we find that a current source is coming in a branch, and in such case we cannot write down the Kirchhoff voltage law for that loop if the current source is coming. Just look at this one. In this case, basically, if we want to write down the KVL for this mesh, in such case voltage drop across this will not be going to be possible, just because we are not knowing the value of internal resistance of this current source. This is the ideal current source. And similarly, if I am looking to write down the KVL for this one, so in such case again the KVL in this mesh cannot be written. So in such case, basically we are going to apply the super mesh analysis. The procedure will be, see, initial procedure will be same. So since we are having the two mesh, so what we will do, we will assume the two imaginary current I1 and I2 flowing in a clockwise direction. Now next step is to write down the KVL. Since the KVL in the mesh is not possible, so what we will do, we will write down the KVL for the super mesh. And super mesh will be formed by, by removing the current source which is basically common in the two mesh. So these two mesh will be going to be joined with each other and will form a super mesh. So look at over here. So this will be your super mesh. So I am going to write down, see, please listen again. How we can find out the super mesh? Super mesh will be found by removing the current source. Let's say this is your current source. So if I am going to remove this current source, in such case this mesh and this mesh combining will be making a super mesh. So it means that simply I am going to write down the KVL for this outer loop or outer mesh, right? So KVL, applying KVL, KVL in super mesh. Super mesh is made by A, B, C, D, E, F, A. This is your super mesh. So first of all, the voltage drop across this 10 ohm will be your equal to 10 of I1. Again, the voltage drop across this 10 ohm will be your 10 of I2. Since in this one I2 is flowing, so that's why 10 of I2. Now I am coming at minus potential. So this will be your minus of 15. And after traveling over here in clockwise direction, I am reaching up to minus 10. So here I'll write down minus 10 will be going to be 0. So 10 of I1 plus 10 of I2 will be your 25. This is your first equation. Since we are having the two unknowns, so again one more equation is required. So how we can find out the second equation? Just look at this middle branch. And this middle branch, I1 and I2 both are flowing. So in such case, see, in the actuality, the current is flowing from bottom to top. So I2 must be going to be greater than I1. So I can write down I2 minus I1 is equal to 5. So this will be your second equation. So we have got the two equations and two unknown. By solving these two equations, simultaneous equation, I can find out the value of I1 and value of I2. This is minus 1.25, sorry, minus 1.25, and this is your 3.75 ampere. And I2, we can find out the current in any branch of this electrical circuit. Well, in the next video, I am going to explain you about the nodal analysis. Thank you.